Hello everyone, this is Evan Huffman and I'm doing my training manual on how to bread and cook fish and some of the processes and steps that goes into the overall product. The first thing that I would suggest that you do is to clean off your whole area, countertops, pans, any silverware that you're going to use, and also yourself. It's important to clean your hands, wash your hands, especially with the current pandemic that is going around. It's important to do all that stuff before you get into touching your own food that's going to eventually go into your mouth and other people's mouths. So the first thing I did was I used some Clorox and cleaned the countertops off and also the dishes. That was the first thing I did, including one of the silverware that I washed was the prongs here that I'm going to later use to flip the fish while they're in the oil. The other thing that you should do as far as health processes is use gloves, especially if you're cooking for other people. It's important to keep your germs within yourself and not spread them to other people. So after you're done with cleaning your utensils and cleaning yourself, the first step to do is to mix the breading, which for us we use a half cup of Andy's fish breading, and we use 2/4. 1/4 would be the Andy's yellow fish breading, and the second fourth would be the Andy's red fish breading. You can see right there, that's Andy's, and also right there, another bag of Andy's. The difference in these two is one is more of a light spice flavor, little garlic in it, and the other one is Cajun, which obviously is a little more spice and more of a down south taste. So right here we have milk and eggs, which is going to give it a distinct taste, but also help the consistency when you're breading, for that breading to stick onto the fish and the individual fillets. Right here, obviously we have the fillets. Within this is about half crappie and half bluegill, two Midwest fish that we can catch locally and not have to go to fish markets, Walmart or Kroger, anywhere like that to get our fish. So first thing I'm going to do is put on these gloves and then we're going to get to it. Again, make sure before you put your gloves on, even if you are wearing gloves, it's important to wash your hands, wash your forearms a little bit, disinfect. I did before the video started, and just one of the most important things. So the first step is to mix the two half breadings into one plate. All right, again, those are 2 half cups, and then the breading was 1/4 Andy's yellow, 1/4 Andy's red, and then this one, of course, was just flour. So you're gonna do a little mixing like this. Not really any certain process to it. It can get a little messy, but just mix it up until it's all one color and you don't see any blotches of white or any blotches of the little yellow brown that the breading is. All right. Once you have that mixed, the next step is going to be to get the fish of your choice into the milk and eggs. Inside this, we used about 3 cups of milk and 1 egg. So I'm going to go ahead and pick 1 crappie and 1 bluegill. And what you want to do is you want to push those down so that the surface of them is underneath, showing very much of the fillet. And normally while I let that sit, I mix this up a little more so it's even more of a one color mix and not the blotches and other things. So mix that until it's blended correctly. I also have another plate here, so it's easy and quick. I can just take the fillets out of the milk and the eggs, put them in here, batter them up, and then I put them on this plate. So we're gonna go ahead and take these out now. It doesn't take long for them to soak up the milk and the eggs, and you just flip them over and gently dress them in the breading and flour. This should be what your finished product is. No blotches, no white and no red distinction, just all one color on top of your fillet. Next is the bluegill. Same thing with the bluegill, nothing changes. You're just gonna mix it up like so. And then again, just one common color, no blotches. Make sure you get it all, and then it's good. So once that's done, we're gonna go ahead and take the gloves off because the breading is done. And next, I can use the prongs to take my fillets and put them in the oil. The first thing that you need to know about the oil is it has to be above 300 degrees to place your fish inside. And yep, we're about 350 right now, getting a little bit above, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn the oven down. You don't wanna go above 350 because that's gonna cook them too fast and not get the inside down. So what you're gonna do next is take your fillet, press it in, stand back, take the other fillet, and press it in and stand back. That's the noise you hear when it starts cooking. You're gonna leave it in there for about 10 minutes, and then once they start floating to the top, that's when you're gonna know you're gonna be done. Stop it. It's also important to keep the fish underneath 45 degrees wherever you're storing them. It's also important to keep them away from exposed meats to prevent foodborne illnesses and cross-contamination. It's also important whenever you're heating your oil to make sure it's at 350 degrees at a stagnant pace so you don't burn or undercook your fish, which could also lead to diseases. The pan that I cook them in is just a pot like this, and I also used this vegetable oil. Okay, next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the plate. Make sure that you switch plates from either a styrofoam plate or a plastic plate to a real plate so that they don't melt through. Next thing I wanted to mention was all these fish were caught in farm ponds, which is a great way to practice social distancing with the pandemic that's going on right now. So we're gonna go over here to the oil and get them out. Again, try to stand back as far as you can. Pour the oil. Alright, that was my training manual, and that was how to bread fish and put them in a deep fryer or on a skillet to fry them up and make a snack that involves cheap price and also social distancing and practicing the pandemic that's going on right now. So thanks for watching, and I hope you guys learned something.